Well, hello. Welcome back to the CCFS Counseling Conversations Podcast. I'm Edward Ruiz, your host here, where I seek to tackle any and all problems of everyday living, offering counsel and encouragement from a Christian worldview. And in today's episode, I want to give a little bit of an update about where I've been lately and why I've suddenly taken a pause from the Probing the Proverbs series, why I've taken a pause from the CCFS newsletter, and share also some plans that I have going forward as I get back into social media, get back into my writing ministry, and get back to doing the things that I do as a counselor, trying to share counsel and encouragement from a Christian worldview as you and I face problems of everyday living. And so the update is this, the big update is this, that I faced a situation where my wife had recently just passed away. 2 months ago today, actually, she went to be with the Lord. And she had faced a lifelong history of medical related problems and issues. And we went into the hospital on the 27th, hoping and thinking that what we went in for would just be squared away within a few days. But unfortunately, the following day, she took a turn for the worst, very suddenly, rapidly, and then died. And so, but God has been gracious. God has been so good and merciful and kind to me and to Heidi's family as we've been kind of going through this grieving process together. And God has also been good and kind through the church, the church that I go to, and even through my work. My team has been so compassionate and kind and patient with me as I've been trying to make sense of a new life now without my wife. And so that's the update. That's why I've kind of taken a pause from things naturally, as you might imagine. And but now as I'm getting my life back together a little bit, trying to rebuild the habits that I've had and get back to some sense of normalcy again. My plan and hope going forward would be to talk about this particular problem of everyday living, which is our eventual death and the various things that are tied up in that. And the one thing that I want to kind of begin with is that our hope in light of death is the resurrection of Jesus Christ from the dead. It's the gospel of Jesus Christ. And one particular means of God's grace to me lately has been through a book called Facing Grief. It's actually written by a pastor in the late 1600s named John Flavel. I think it could be Flavel. I don't actually know how to pronounce his name. But he writes, the subtitle is Counsel for Mourners. And he writes in such pointed, poignant, profound ways that has really encouraged my heart lately. And so this is one thing that I want to do. I want to share excerpts. I want to share my own reflections. I want to share what I'm learning from this book. I've already gone through it, but I think I'll be reading it again a few times perhaps. But it's been so encouraging to me. And I want to pass that on to you. And as I get back into the CCFS newsletter, get back into doing Instagram and social media stuff, and hopefully, by God's grace, blessing you along the way. So thank you so much for tuning in today. I look forward to continuing to connect with you and share what God's teaching me, and hopefully bless you along the way. So thank you again, and we'll talk soon. Bye.